Are you looking to make a podcast? Well, you should definitely check out Anchor. It's 100% free. It's a place where you can record and edit your podcast. And after you're done, Anchor themselves will place your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You looking to make money? Anchor will allow you to do that with no minimal listenership. None. Zero. It's everything you need. It's a place where you can edit and record your podcast. So, what are you waiting for? Download a free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whichever time you are listening to this. It's pretty late on my end, and this episode is pretty haphazard. It's off the cuff. So, preface all statements, this is from a TV show, and it just sparked interest of me thinking of the idea of the black experience, black culture, and black skin being a commodity, right? That black gold. The skin is worth, our skin, I guess you could say, is worth its weight in gold in culture in this country. But anyway, where I got this from is from a TV show that you should watch, and I am gonna let you know it's not a slow burn. It starts pretty strong. I'm only on episode 2, so actually episode 4 as I look at it right now. But anyway, it's called Woke. Literally called Woke. Give it a chance for those of you that are actually woke, quote unquote, woke. For Black Twitter, Cocoa Butter Twitter. Just give it a chance, you know what I'm saying? It's not a slow burner. It starts off pretty strong. We get the premise from the title. But it's pretty good so far. But anyway, one of the episodes, it's literally called Black People for Rent. So, the main character is basically, he's a cartoonist. And he created this comic strip in a newspaper. You'll figure it out when you watch it. But anyway, he meets this black woman who interprets his comic strip to be racial and a race in America. And he, at that point, says, why does and she praised them for doing that, and corporate America and white supremacy, all that. And he's like, why does all black people have to stand for something in their work? Why can't it just be art? And that rung something for me. And hopefully for those of you who are African American who don't understand the experience of us who, I know it's a joke to be woke, but it's real. To be woke in America is to be angry all the time. And for those of you who are always on those who are not even political party, those of you who believe in the bootstrap theory, so to speak. Yeah, you pull yourself by your own bootstraps, right? Black people aren't behind. We don't have any hoops to get through. There is no glass ceiling. You can do what every other color in this country does. Please watch this show. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to make you get it. If you haven't had the experience some of others have who are lower income or impoverished, or some of us who, you don't have to be either. You just ran into a cop that was wrong for a wrong doing that you had nothing to do with, ran into racism, whatever. Watch the show. I don't know. Maybe it'll help. Anyway, as I digress. Yeah, after he passed this woman, he said what he said about why the black people have to always stand for the art, whatever, boom. Something goes awry. He actually comes in to counter with the police. It's, trust me, and this is bad taste. The way this happens on the show, bad taste. It happens out of nowhere. It was god awful, gaudy, shoddy, cringe. But yeah, he's putting up some papers for his artwork. He just got his artwork signed and syndicated, about to do a big deal, big money. So he's putting up posters around the city, and out of nowhere, a cop slaps him over the head. He's wearing earphones, so he can't hear. Cop slaps him over the head, throws him to the ground. And this is the real reason why this whole scene is gaudy. They just made it obvious, but it's probably an art, quote unquote. But yeah, they throw him to the ground, and he has a white friend. His white friend comes to help him. Cop has his gun on his hand when he's dealing with the black guy, the main character. Takes his gun off his hand to deal with the white guy, and the white guy gets irate and is poking the officer, pressing his badge, grabbing his hand, and the officer's so the officer is just acquiescing and is all calm. Obvious reasons these black people know we see this. Now, fast forward. so I don't make this episode so long. Fast forward, after that happens, he begins to be woke, right? His third eye is open. He has inanimate objects talking to him, showing him, blah, blah, blah. He has another black friend who says, oh, shit, look at you. Houston, we have a problem. This Negro's woke. Anyway, fast forward, episode 4. He goes to a party, right? Basically, he loses the deal, this art deal, this cartoonist deal, and now he's Ubering, so to speak. And this white lady figures out who he is. She notices him, so she's like, come to my party. I'll pay you to come to the party. Weird. Just watch the episode. He goes to the party. He's the only black person. He has the weird, I'm the only black person here experience with a bunch of highfalutin white people. Leaves the party, gets the money, and then he just starts putting up these posters that says black people for rent. As of now, as I watch it, he claims it's just part of art to see if he can get a response from society. He lives in San Francisco. Highfalutin, Silicon Valley, whatever. But as he's talking about this throughout the episode, of course you guys know what I've explained to the TV show. The conversation about black culture and black skin being a commodity is basically about this episode. And that's why he came up with black people for rent. And I had to think, how long have we been for rent? Have we been for rent anyway? Ever since we came off the boat, like, there's big talks in every industry that black people are in, and we are successful in almost every industry and take over it, and we're leaders in, and we spearhead them. Where's the ownership? And I hate use that word. I hate to use overused words, in my culture. I think it's tacky, and I get tired of hearing them. But we've always, for the past 3-4 years, there's always been this talk of ownership, right? Especially with rappers, right? Do you own your masters? Where are the stems at? Is it your label? You're always with somebody. If you're with the label, you sign to the label, you don't own nothing. And that begs the question of, we've always been for rent. And if you don't believe it, I can't think of anything we actually own. You can't really say hip-hop because, of all the talks of the whole major label thing, no black person completely owns, runs, and operates a music label or even a distribution company. So we're always renting out our skin, so to speak. Like, just to make it plain, we're renting out skin. We're giving out, and we're not even renting it out. Like, well, yeah, people are getting cash advances, getting salaries, but like, I don't know. I'm not gonna drag on the conversation of ownership is being had. That's not my wheelhouse. What I'm saying is, how are we thinking about what we're doing on renting out our skin, or even thinking about it day to day, right? This whole thing about code switching and making things safe for your white friends, and when your white friends are like, oh, when certain people try to invite you to some things and some parties and they're really begging upon you, and maybe that's your real friend, maybe it's not, but I don't know. Maybe you might want to take a gander and think about it. Like, why do you want me here? Am I going to be the token black guy? Am I going to be the token black woman? And sometimes I get it. Like, I'm not that person. You don't always want to think about that. But it happens. It's what this episode is about. Do you think about day to day how we as a people, or how African American people of African descent, being used and possibly somewhat abused? And when are we going to take, I don't know. The onus is on us. We have autonomy of our own body, of our own skin, our own culture. It's ours. We just been leasing it, renting it out forever, and not getting nothing back except for dollars. That's it. Like, nothing. We're not getting no land, not getting no assets, no real investments. No real equity in anything. Like, we don't have equity in anything. We don't own none of the shit that we create. How ass backwards is that? How would Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon, Mark, all of them, they came out the gate making something and then signed out the rights, and now they're trillionaires and they really don't own it. Like, they're really giving up half the check. That's just not how you do business. But yes, I get it. For those of you who say, I'm up here just preaching on my soapbox, you know what happened to us. We had slavery. We had this. We had that. We're about 400, 500 years removed. And first off, let me say, trust me, I'm not on that Kanye shit. Like, trust me, there's nothing we could have done. And we didn't put ourselves in this place. And we are owed to some things. Don't get it twisted. Like, we are owed a lot. We're owed some equity. We probably are owed some money. We're owed some subsidized things specifically for the people of African descent. And it has not happened for us. It's happened for every race in this country that has either been dragged here or immigrated here, but not us. Actually, we are the only race I know of at this point that has been forcefully put here. Everyone else that made a choice to come here and then got used by this country has gotten some type of reparation. Majority of it has been through subsidized loans, credit, and or business loans of some kind for their entire people. It's written down somewhere. I could do the research. African Americans? No. And we constantly are giving out rights and leasing and copyright trademark to the black skin, like to the black experience. I'm gonna try to be more cognizant. I give it up to you to think of everyone think about equity, right? Everyone's an entrepreneur now. Everyone's a business. Everybody's a CEO. But just think about what you're doing when you, like, for me on this podcast, I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do when I want to expand, right? Am I gonna sign, if it ever happens, and I probably will, I sign a contract for some company, some DSP, for like just to put me on to get more viewers. That'd be the easy route, just to get a quick check. I get more viewers. I'll sign for a year or two and then leave. But I don't have money for lawyers right now, and I could look over that long. They'll send you like a fat packet that's like that you have to read in order to sign, and that's part of, you know, them getting over you. It's like it's long, it's drawn out. They'll give you a time constraint when they need a reply. I don't know if I want to do all that. I'm thinking I might just keep this stuff grassroots, as they say, and just, I don't know, because I don't want to do ads either. The ads make it sound corny just to keep it 1,000. Like, me just stopping in the middle of this and say, hey, use these socks that I've never worn. Use this underwear that I've never worn. It'll be the best. Like, I don't know. But it's all part of what we as a people need to think of day in and day out. Like, are you really looking forward to equity in what you're doing? Are you really looking forward to getting what you're owed for what you're worth? I always say 100% all the time. It's one of my hashtags. Network your net worth. You should know your worth first before you even go out. If you're looking to sign, I ain't saying don't sign with no one, don't do business, but be a partner. Don't just sign a contract where someone's using you making money. And for whatever reason you sign a contract, just know whatever number they send to you or they offer to you, just know they are making no less than twice that. I should say times 2 that, and that's what they're making. So you need to leverage whatever it is. It's you offer, especially if those people look out for you, if they're extending their hand of business to you. There's a reason. Know your stock, know your worth, never give up something for nothing, right? And I'm not preaching to nobody. Do what you gotta do. These young 16, 17-year-olds doing the rap deal, getting taken over with these 360s. They coming out the hood with a $100,000 advance? Of course. Like, I'm not trying to shit on them. It's just for us that learn and grow, or for us that are older, realize who you are, what you are, and what stock you have. Like, black skin is worth its weight in gold right now. Like, we are running. I don't know, other than like maybe the car industry or like the medical industry, as far as culture goes, we run everything: clothes, shoes, music, alcohol. We spared I won't say the cannabis business, but it's big on that. Like, accessories with shades, hats. Everything that has to do with lifestyle. Let's put it like this: anything lifestyle about product and business and service. We are a part of spearheading that shit and making billions. Understand, billions. Maybe even hundreds of billions. Billions for sure. Like, we're talking billions, up to 10 billion. Maybe multi-billions. It's a big possibility, but I know billions for sure. And we are the biggest consumers. Like, I think we're like the number 2 biggest consumer in this country. We spend the most money. We're the second people to spend, if not the first. We're either number 1, number 2, spending the most money. We gotta get that back, because then when are we gonna talk about generational wealth? Like, when are we gonna retain some shit? What are you gonna give to your third grandson? What are you gonna get? Are you giving out debt? Or are you giving out asset? Like, what are we doing? But anyway, that's my rant for that. I just want you to think, like, are you for rent? Are you giving out? I don't know. Are you leasing yourself? Are you leasing your giving out your equity? Are you leasing out your maybe even your pride? Are you renting out your experience? Are you renting out your skin? I don't know. Just things to think about. But once again, thank you for choosing this episode to waste your time at the Mental Health Podcast. It's been a long time coming. This has been like I only have 4 episodes. This is number 5 in the span of a month and a half. I've been busy, man. But y'all be on the lookout. I'm moving, so that's why it took so long. I'll be in Atlanta very, very soon. Actually, in about a week's time, literally. In about 2 to 3 weeks from then, I'm going to revamp the podcast. Probably do some new logos, you know what I'm saying? Do some new promos, you know, when I get some time. But y'all stay tuned. Once again, thank you for wasting your time listening to me. Hope you have a beautiful day.